Hello, everyone. My name is Reese, and I have been trading for a little bit over a year, maybe a year and a half, something in between those timelines. And I want to really go over a psychological side of trading. There won't be any charts involved in this video, so if that's what you're here for, you can go ahead and click off. Although I do think that this will probably be one of the better videos that you could watch if you are serious about trading. Um, so I'm just gonna get right into it. Right, this is gonna be a probably very personal video that I probably won't make a lot of these, but I do think that it can help a lot of people if they've ever been in a similar situation, something along those lines. So I met a girl, as a lot of guys do, and for the sake of this video, let's call her Kate. This was the second girl that I have ever had any type of relationship with, and the way that I met Kate, I worked with Kate for a little bit over 2 years, and we never had any relationship outside of work. When I was starting to make money from trading and planning on quitting trading, or not quitting trading, planning on quitting work, I decided, why don't I start talking to Kate? Um, I started talking to Kate for a couple months, maybe a few months, and then so on led to so on, and I asked her to be my girlfriend. She said yes, and then we started dating. Now, Kate did things that I didn't necessarily agree with. I've been sober my entire life. I've never smoked or drank, and Kate would vape. So that was something that I did not like. Um, I would take Kate on dates where obviously I'd pay. Um, if you're not paying as a man, I feel as though you shouldn't be prioritizing a relationship, and you should probably be prioritizing something else aside from the point. Um, I would take Kate on dates, and I would, you know, be prominent to keep her a priority in my life, right? My priorities are being my family, which is number one, and she would fall into that. Obviously, I have different priorities after that, but family is number one for me. So, Kate being in priority number one, she meant a lot to me, right? So, I never felt the effort in return. I was putting effort into the relationship, and I never felt any type of effort in return. So, she did things that I didn't like, and I didn't feel the same effort that I was putting in. That's when I realized that I was settling for less. And settling for less is probably the worst thing that you can ever possibly do in anything, right? So, settling for less in a relationship is a terrible thing to do. Settling for less at a job, if you don't like your job, don't settle for less. Do something about it, whether that means you need to obtain a higher education or learn a new skill. Don't settle for less. You deserve more. You're a human, and we all only get a certain amount of time on this earth, right? Um, so I am also the type of person that dates to marry, right? Meaning, when I get into a relationship, I plan on being in this relationship for the rest of my life and never having the thought of anybody else in that relationship or breaking up with this person ever, right? Just my entire life grow old with this one person. And now I realized that I was being delusional with Kate, right? I was making up scenarios in my head where we were married, we were living in the same house, growing old, doing all the things that I want. And that's the important part, right? I know what I want. I want a certain house, I want a specific car, I want my own pool, stuff like that, right? I want to have kids one day, I want a dog, all these things that I know that I want. Um, and I think that Kate was a little bit immature in her head compared to I was. Um, meaning I know what I want in my future, and I don't think that she was the same, which is probably why I would put in a lot of effort and she wouldn't put in any in return. Now, I'm not talking bad on Kate at all. It just didn't work out. And when she broke up with me, um, I felt lost, right? I probably cried in that bed right there for about a week straight. And during that week, I learned a lot. And I'm not even kidding. I have pictures to prove it. Um, so, settling for less in trading. If I can take a setup that's down here, right? Say I'm targeting shorts, meaning I want the market to go lower. If I can take a setup down here and it has all the criteria that I need, but there's this, if I wait for it to come up here, that criteria is going to be so much better, and I know that this one will 100% play out versus this one might only play out 60% of the time. Why would I take this one and take an unnecessary loss just to take this one again when I can just not take these, right? Avoid an unnecessary loss and just wait, be patient and wait for something perfect to come along like this one. Um that was a big thing for me, right? During those 7 days of I don't want to call it depression, but definitely realization. I was back testing an extremely amount of time that I would not recommend anybody to, and I improved my win rate about 15 to 20%. It was sitting at around 70ish, and now it's a little bit above 80. So, um, I was also realized that I was being delusional, meaning I was making up scenarios in my head with Kate. She's not gonna be my future wife. I now realize that, and I need to move forward. Same way in trading, where these people on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc., they're making 5 figures, 6 figures consistently a month. How come I'm not able to do that? Well, it's because I'm being delusional. Obviously, something in my trading is resisting me from being at that level, right? It's not just capital. I have plenty of capital to trade with. If you know what prop firms are, I trade with a lot of prop firm accounts, so capital shouldn't be the issue there. Um, there's something inside of my trading that is holding me back, and that was settling for less. So, if you watched this video, you probably clicked on the title, and it probably has some big number in it, and that big number is honestly life changing, right? In August of 2025, I got broken up with, and then I proceeded to make my first $10,000 month. That was the most amount of money that I've ever seen in my entire life. Less than a year before that, I literally had over negative $100 in my bank account, and that is including savings, including anything that I had invested. I had $0 invested in anything, right? I'm just broke. I was in debt, and I wanted to fix my situation. So just know that if you are currently in a situation where you don't like your current job, you want to change your life, you can. It is very possible. I have lived through it. I didn't think that it was, but now I know that it really is possible. And a lot of this comes down to me having to thank Kate, right? So Kate made me realize that my life outside of the charts is much more important than my life inside of the charts, or whatever you want to say. It's much more important than my technical analysis. My technical analysis is fine. My psychology was what was holding me back, right? I was almost FOMOing into setups. Not FOMO, like they're still valid setups, but I wasn't being patient enough because I was settling for less. Do not settle for less. This is the main point of this video. Do not settle for less. This will hold you back so much. If I have, so in a real world scenario, right? I have Kate, who does not do things that I want in a future wife. And why would I settle for Kate when I can just let Kate go, right? Obviously, she wanted to go on her own, and wait for somebody who actually has all the values and morals that I agree with to then come along and, meet my criteria in trading terms, that will be just much happier with me. So my psychology improved outside of the charts. And then the second that that happened, my biggest month ever in my entire life, still to this day, because I haven't had a $10,000 month. I've gotten close, but not quite 10,000. Um, happened. What are the coincidences that that is? It's not just a coincidence, right? Like, that is my psychology improved. Genuinely, it did in 1 week, and that took me from enough to where I don't have to work a job, but to where I can really start to make real money from this, right? I'm starting to get to those TikTok, Instagram, YouTube guys where they're making multiple five figures a month. And um, I do believe that anybody can do it, and that was just my personal experience. And anybody that watched this entire video, I genuinely want to thank you. I know that this is not a normal type of video for me to make, and if you did watch this, you're probably very serious about trading, and I do think that you will make it. Um, you just got to prioritize your outside life, and that will naturally bring into your life on the charts, if you want to call it that. Now, for the YouTube side of things, right? Obviously, like, comment, subscribe. That's really all that I want to say for this video. I want to keep this more of a one-on-one conversation, or I guess just me talking conversation. But if you guys do enjoy, I genuinely appreciate if you got to this point in the video. I don't think that more than 4 people will, but genuinely it does mean the world to me. I love making videos like this. I've just recently started, so I genuinely realized that this is something that I love to do as well. Another thing that I know I want in my future, right? I want to help people out, and I think that this video will definitely do so. So I hope that you guys all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you later.